All right, everybody. Hey, welcome to another Alovéa Pros podcast. And this one's a lot of fun for me. This one is somebody I've hung out with a bunch of times at different areas and have really watched his journey. And of course, Alovéa Pros is a special program where we work with coaches, trainers, athletes, and healthcare professionals that are sponsored by this company called Alovéa. And I get to be here with Duane today. Duane, how are you, man?
I'm doing fantastic, brother. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. I'm loving your shirt. I saw you when you came on earlier. I was like, man, I wish I had like a cooler shirt on. I should have the Robin shirt or something. Cool Batman shirts. But Duane, you've got an incredible story because you're a personal trainer, you're an online coach, and you also got in the world of bodybuilding competitions, which is a really intense world and what you put your body through. And I've seen you and I've actually been with you when you've been through a training process. So I know how crazy it is on what you put your body through. Like it's a lot. So can you share with everybody, tell everybody a little bit about yourself? Where are you from? How did you get in this world? And why did you decide becoming, stepping into that competition of bodybuilding?
Well, Craig, I appreciate it, man. It's an honor to be here with you today. I've been looking forward to this for a long time. As you know, I've been with the company for quite a long time, and I've got quite an interesting journey, a long journey, coming from 300 pounds at my worst about 10 to 12 years ago, and having some mental health issues and some internal health issues, and chronically, inflammation, and just not feeling my best, and just really suffering after a long career playing football, several concussions. Just stepping away from the sports world and stepping back into the family world, raising my kids. I had a 2-year-old son, and growing up, I was always kind of a heavier kid. The whole bodybuilding thing, I'll touch on that quick. It was Gladiators, American Gladiators, actually, Craig. You remember that show? I don't
Really?
know. I think it was, I
Yeah,
don't remember if it was a Canadian-based show, but I remember American Gladiators on
I
TV. But
remember. Oh, I remember it for sure.
they're shooting the balls, and the guys were running around. They had the guys and the gals, and they used the batons. Well, there was Nitro, and growing up, I had a keen fix on Nitro. He had the physique that I wanted. I grew up in a military family, so I was always somewhat disciplined in the sense that I didn't know I would have the discipline today, falling back on the discipline that in the which I was raised. But just watching these guys on TV, I didn't know how they got that big. I didn't know why they were that big, but they look pretty sweet in their spandex straps, bro, shooting those balls at the guys running across the screen. And I wanted to look like that at some point. I thought that was cool. Growing up and
I think
hitting,
I think that's a really cool story too because you've we've seen people watch football players or seen people watch musicians and things like that. But I think for those guys that were in the Gladiator, I hope they hear this podcast because think that they literally inspired this guy, saying, "Man, I want to do that." I mean, that's really cool, man.
dude, it was I watched that stuff every weekend, man. It was, we had limited TV, but when that came on WGN, I think, man, I was all over it. So it was just, yeah, it really caught my eye, and it's really cool to be almost in that realm of the world, to see some of those guys that are built like that, to go to some of these shows and see some of these guys that look like action figures, but then also to kind of look at myself as that, in that sense as well. But I still have that aspiration and that dream that I still look back and still that little pudgy kid that says I got to get there one day. So that's kind of my my realm into bodybuilding, and why I'm here now is that it's a dream that I'm fulfilling from when I was a kid, and through Alovéa, and my transformation has given me the opportunity to fulfill this. Honestly, bro, it's to feel my best, to be able to train the way that I do, to be able to recover and heal the way that I do, my mental clarity, my growth. At 38 years old, man, I feel better than I did when I was 25, and stepping away from the sports world, and thought that I was in the best shape of my life then because I could go out and throw a football every weekend and, score some touchdowns. Now it's being able to train 5 days a week and being able to, be around people that change their lives and my family's lives and my kids, my son especially. It's inspiring in that sense. How did I get to be personal training? Actually, my first college credits in college. Actually, kind of a funny story to where I got into college. So I live in southern Minnesota. I've been in southeast Minnesota for 20 years now, since 2005. I went to
Oh,
high
wow.
school in the Twins. I went to
So
high school in the Twin Cities.
you know cold then, right? You know what that cold weather feels like up there.
It's yeah, I know about it. You're a little farther north than me, and so you know a little bit worse than I do. But yeah, we're like right in the plummet of the middle. So yeah, we get that frigid temps, which is why I love going to Dallas, man. I love going to North Carolina. I love getting out of here. So it's a blessing to have those opportunities as well with the Alovéa Pros program. So some perks and pluses there as well. But yeah, so I'm in southern Minnesota here. I've been here since 2005, and I came down here to Rochester actually, coming out of high school. had an opportunity to go play in Arkansas. Kind of a funny story, quick, but had almost a partial ride to University of Nebraska or University of Arkansas Pine Bluff, and talking with the coach for a week and a half. Thought things were going to go good. I sent my film down there. I get on the phone with him. Well, in high school, we had sleeves all the way up and down and socks all the way up and down. And I was just a big boy that could throw the football. And we played at night, right? Well, about 10 days in and
Mm,
3 talks in, he says, "Hey, son, what's your ethnicity?" And I said, "Well, I'm Caucasian." "Why?" He said, "Oh, we're an HBC school, son. We're an all black school." He said, you can't play here." And I said, "Man." So my name being Duane, it was kind of, I thought I had an opportunity to go play big time college football, Division II, but that's my story of why I didn't go play college, Division II. But I came to
wow.
Rochester, played community college, and my first college credits were personal training. I wanted to be a personal trainer, an athletic trainer. And then when I found out how difficult it was to honestly fulfill and sustain the high level of athletic training, how small the numbers were, it deterred me from it. And I was more so focused on playing ball and just brutally abusing my body, to be honest, which led me
Right.
to Alovéa and all that. But yeah, so my personal training days now bleeds back to an originality of me growing up wanting to just help people, man. I wanted to help others prevent injury. I wanted to be the guy that was taping up ankles, and I wanted to learn how to, how to help others just stay healthy, because being a bigger boy growing up, I really didn't have many injuries. I had one or two small injuries, and blessed by God, I didn't have any ankle injuries, knee injuries, anything like that. And I just felt like maybe it was because even though I didn't work out, it wasn't in the best shape. I was a heavier set kid. I did the other things that were necessary. So while I didn't work out, I iced and I stretched and I did the things that allowed me to be able to go out and do what I did at the very bare minimum level. And that's where I think
Right.
it just all pieced together and kind of drove that passion, where now at 38, I'm in the gym, the best shape of my life. I know the ins and outs on how to prevent injury, recover from injury, get stronger, lose weight, do this. But then you see the average person come in here and they're like, "Hey, I don't know any of that." Like, I'm blessed to have someone like you, Duane. And I'm just thinking, like, man, had I not taken those initial steps back then, Craig, and had those passions and those dreams, I don't know if this is where this would have gone with all of this. So it's really cool to
Well,
see
that's
this come full circle for me.
yeah. Well, that's what's so interesting is I think your story. I think so many people can relate to because most people that know you today, like myself, I never saw that version of yourself. Where I've seen pictures of yourself when you were much larger,
Yeah.
and we know there are so many people out there that just suffer with health issues or just being overweight, and both the mental abuse they give themselves and the how their body feels, and to have that journey, just even have the belief that saying, is it possible? Because it's a pretty strong change of habits in your life, but you can see that the passion of wanting to help people probably come from you first decided to help yourself and make
Yes.
this changes. So when was the time frame? When did this go from, like you said, like having all this extra weight to really getting to the gym to getting this point?
So this 12 years ago, honestly, Craig, it was when I was introduced to the Alovéa products. A friend reached out and just said, "Hey, dude, you're in the worst shape of your life. I can tell you're struggling. Oh, you look like you need to make some changes." And I said, "You know what? I'll take a look at it." And after 3.5 months of taking looks at it, I finally pulled the trigger, and I never looked back, man. Over the years, it was supplementing for some surgery recoveries as I was getting healthier. That's the thing too. As we get healthier, our body starts to expose things over time. Like, hey, you neglected this and you neglected this. And so while you're getting healthier, we need to attend to this and tend to this. Sometimes that requires surgical procedures, to kind of correct, certain issues. And along the way, I've been blessed to be able to have the Alovéa supplements and the food technology to be able to aid in my recoveries and aid in my growth and my mental clarity, and get rid of some of these discomforts that I've had, over the years. And then now, as I've gotten more in tune with my body and to understand what nutrition does, what exercise does, and I would say the best part about my journey that I love the most, and it's not to put this against anybody, but I did it the right way, Craig. I didn't jump in and
Mm,
say, "You know what? I need 100 pounds off now. I got to do it now." I preach and I teach and I love showing people sustainability, long-term gratification. I stuck to 20 pounds a
so
year
smart.
for 7 years. I lost 130
Wow.
pounds in 7 years. So at
I mean,
25, I
that
started.
story in itself is, yeah, it's so inspiring.
Yeah, I mean, it's at now being 12 years, being 2 years in, man, nobody wanted, it's like, "Oh, good for you, bro." And at 5 years in, it was like, "Hey, we're still kind of, doing our thing." And that's where now it's the blessing, Craig. It's being 38 years old and people saying, "Hey, I do remember when you started, and I never started, so I'd like to start. Can you help me? And God
Mm,
has allowed me to get to a point in my life to build myself in my own personal life and my own personal development, get rid of a lot of the traumas in my life, you know, the skeletons in the closet, to grow internally, externally, everything knowledge wise, to be able to now be able to help everybody and anybody, and to watch this really grow. The magnificent thing, Craig, is that even though I've been an Alovéa Pro now for a year, I'm just, you know, just renewed into my second year. Appreciate you guys for that. My personal training business, brother, has literally exploded in the last 4 months,
wow.
and it's a lot of. Give me a second.
Well, that,
I worked hard.
I mean, hey, I think that's phenomenal. And by the way, one of the things I wanted to ask on that, so like when you were introduced, which I think is really cool, is somebody reached out to you, said, look, you've got this, you look like you're in the worst shape of your life. And you had that openness that so you were obviously at that point where you knew something needed to shift. And sometimes people have
Yeah.
to get to that stage. But what, and then you talk about the 7 year journey, which I think is brilliant, by the way. I think it is so cool that people have seen that transition and that consistency. And that can give people hope that they can create these new lifestyles. And you don't have to become a bodybuilder to do it. It's just you chose to take it to the next level, but you can see those small changes year after year makes these tremendous impact in their life. So what products were you really impacted by with Alovéa? What were some of the products that you were like, wow, these products are really making a difference for me?
I mean, without a doubt, the Ace Mannin immune, without a doubt, the optimization with the gut and the stem cell and everything. I mean, just the way it heals the body is second to none in my mind. I've utilized it in so many ways over the years, and what's really cool, like we talked about, the history of this, and just the power of just continuing on, of losing the weight, of getting in shape, of sticking with Alovéa, with trusting in the program, trusting in the process, the continual growth of the company with Sam, and the development of new new food technologies. I mean, bottom line, the immune, the limitless, but now, Craig, the core, hands down. Pretty cool, man. My son, he just had a flow, like a mane of like 14 to 16 inches of hair yesterday, and he's like, Dad, I want to get rid of it. I want a drop fade mullet, he said. These kids are there with their curly hair. You know, it looks really good now, but it was getting out of control. But yesterday, Craig, so my son's 15. He's been on core for about 4 months, and no big deal. He's got long hair, but he's been very, very, very insecure about the front of his hair, because he doesn't like his forehead, and his hairline was a little farther back. Brother, when she pulled his hair back yesterday, she asked him, she said, have you been cutting your own hair? And he said, no, why? And I peeked over like, hold on a second. And she said, well, what is this right here? Big old poof of fresh new hair that has never been there before. His hairline looks thick and full. When I see something like that, man, the smile on his face, to be able to take his hat off and see a fresh, it's changing things, man. So when I go with my son being bullied in a kindergarten for having a hairline back here, and me shaving his head as a dad, just thinking, hey, this is the cool cut, bro, to now he has that
Yep.
confidence. My daughters have had magnificent results with this. My results, with just the mental clarity, the mental health is the biggest one, man. I just had a really cool story dropped out there that talks a lot about my journey on southernmuscleguide.com. It's a 6-page
Mm,
magazine article that
wow.
just dropped. Yeah, it's got Alovéa all over it. So it's really cool. I mean, I can't talk enough about it right now, man, and what it's doing for myself and my family. But
I mean, that's such a powerful story, especially when it impacts like you yourself, but then you're seeing how it's impacting your family and, of course, your students and athletes you're working with. But what's interesting is because you talked about how you're an Alovéa Pro, you're sponsored by this company because of being a personal trainer, being an online coach, because of your going into bodybuilding. You are a approved Alovéa Pro, so you're sponsored by the company, but you didn't have to be. Like technically, you could have just continue to consume these products and seeing how the products impact your life. But you decided to attach it to your brand because you are really what you're building in the name you're getting out there. And like you said, stories and great magazines around this journey and are inspiring people. But you really wanted to attach your name to this company. And obviously the company wanted to be attached to your brand and your name. Why was it that you said, yes, this is something I want to be? I want to be a sponsored pro with this company.
and hands down, it changed my life. It's one of those. It's literally, I think it's the greatest opportunity I've ever had in my life, to be able to use the same technology that I have invested myself in, and to have the company have enough belief in me to say, hey, We want to sponsor you to be a rep to spread this to others. We believe that through your company, through your through your excuse me, through your voice, through your representation of who you are and how you promote health, we want to sponsor you to reach out and basically help build this business in a different direction as some of our elites. It's a different feeling, Craig. It's like taking off my cape and putting on and having someone else put on a different cape. That Alovéa's Pro, that launch event, Craig. Oh, dude, I can't wait for next year. Like that right there, that people weren't there. Like it's that right there. It's that reason right there, because when we reach 3.5 million people, we're gonna help save the world with the children. We know that. But when we reach a certain number of pros, it all changes. And now we've got this initial base. So when Joe Bush reached out to me about the Alovéa Pros and he showed me what it was, it was a no-brainer for me. I thought, absolutely. It didn't have to do with the products. It didn't have to do with, what you have to spend, what you don't have to spend, how much and this and that. It was the fact that pros, I've got somebody else that believes in me and what I've done with my journey, the clarity of the business, the company, the direction of the company, Sam Castor's transparency, his belief in God, how this company was built. I was baptized
Mm,
last April. That's again, this is
wow.
everything. Yeah, everything's kicking off just in a huge, huge way. So for me, year one was like, man, back in the company strong, Alovéa Pro, baptized a couple months later, just really kicking off strong. I'm at about 15,000, almost 15,000 Ripple for my Ripple through the company. My goal was 10,000 in the first year, so I hit that. It gives you a different sense of purpose. To be honest, I feel like it's just it's a badge of honor to be honest, to have that, to say, hey, you know what? Not only do I believe in these products, you guys, they believe in me. They believe in me. They believe in others like myself. And if I can get others like myself to believe in themselves and myself, dude, it's this company has helped take me
Man,
to a different place.
giving me goosebumps. I love it. You're giving me goosebumps with hearing this. Like
It's
it's exciting. It's
it is,
exciting, and what
dude.
you've done, your story is worth hearing because it's inspiring to people. You touched on something. I want you to finish with this because I think this is great for those that don't know. Alovéa is a social business. Meaning for every single product it sells, it creates a matching serving of that same Ace Man and that Duane that's changed your life to kids in need around the world. 7 million kids that die of malnutrition, and of those 7 million kids, the vast majority of them, they're not starving, they're dying through adverse reactions to different type of infectious diseases around the world because their immune systems are so compromised. So this company is just about to surpass 60 million servings of donations as a collective. And you can even go down to Mexico and have an experience of visiting some of the kids that we're supporting through our partner, President Fox and his wife, Marta, the former president of Mexico, and which just shows there. So, Duane, you're actually looking at going on your first trip, you and a couple other pros, where you guys are going to go down there and meet the former president of Mexico. You're going to meet his wife, Marta, who's a powerhouse. You're going to stay at his hacienda, and then you're going to go visit and actually meet some of these kids that you're impacting. And as a father with your own amazing kids, now to go have this experience to see these kids that you've been touching and impacting without even knowing it. How does that make you feel being you can just tell you're a guy that wants to impact people's lives and help people. How does that feel like you're going to have that experience?
This is the part that I've been embracing for, Craig. I'm kind of glad the last couple of weeks have kind of got pushed off, because this is where it hits home, man. It's gonna be crazy, man. What we provide to them, a lot of people don't know, but so I'm blessed to be able to give my daughters the same technology, the Mighty Milk. And my daughters have a rare disorder, and this has given them, dude, like a completely different chance at life. It's to go down and see the kids, dude, I know what it's done for my girls, and man, I knew I wouldn't be able to hold it, bro. But
It's beautiful, man. Share from your heart.
if I didn't invest, Craig, I don't know where my kids would be, man. That's dead honest. My son's been struggling like really bad gastrointestinal issues when he was younger, and dude, to see him thriving, man, to see people in the gym looking up to him, thinking that he's just this amazing, healthy young man, and He's just a different kid, Craig, even from like 2 years ago when I first got him on the products. And now my daughters, dude, they were supposed to have this major surgical procedure, and I got him on the Mighty Milk just in time. And 6 months later, the doctor is like, man, they saw things that they had never seen before, Craig. It went from a surgical procedure to an injection procedure. You know, it's absolutely incredible. So for me to be able to go down and see these other kids who don't even have the same opportunities that my girls have through Mayo Clinic and the other hospitals and the care. I can take them right down the street and say, hey, they're struggling with this. Can you help them? Boom, 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 in and out. These kids are, they're waiting for arms, Craig. They're waiting for limbs. They're waiting for, rehabilitations. I'm seeing this, and it's like I've got more than a half dozen team members that have been down there twice. And I'm like, I got to get down there, Craig. So it's a calling of mine. This is, God called me to this 12 years ago to be able to give my kids a better chance. It's the best way I can put it, man. And it's just been
Wow.
it's
Wow.
been it's been a
Woo!
ride, dude. It's been a ride.
Yeah. Well, and what's exciting about a ride is, you're at the beginning of this ride, right? And even this company, the company is not that old. It's a relatively new company. It's now opening up countries all around the world. There's professional trainers, professional
Yeah.
bodybuilders, there's healthcare there's people praying for solutions for their health all around the world. And of course, there's millions of kids every year suffering. And we have that solution for it all. And it's people like you that have a story to share, that get passionate about it and want to share it with others, and will never stop sharing it with others. And boy, oh boy, this has been such a powerful podcast for me personally. When you come back from Mexico, are you open? Can we do another podcast, a follow up?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, dude, I can't wait, man. This is like I told you, and I told Joe too, like this is a new beginning, man. It's things when your why really changes and you find out, it just hits, dude. Man,
Wow.
I'm
Well,
I'm just
we're honored to have you as
I'm blessed,
a
dude.
partner here. We're honored.
I'm blessed.
Nice. Well, we are honored to have you as a Alovéa Pro, and it was such an honor to have you here as a podcast partner today. And we are just wishing you, your family, the continued best and all the blessings that you guys have had, and just your constant ability to keep inspiring people to live that healthier life, to make the decision to say, you know what, I'm ready to make that change. And with Alovéa, of course, we know what the products can do, but to be able to do it and also impact those children around the world, what an incredible blessing. So Duane, it was great having you here today, and I can't wait to have you on the next podcast.
Hey, appreciate you, brother. Thanks for holding that last one till the end, huh? So no,
Good stuff. All
I
right.
appreciate it,
All
man.
right,
I really do.
good stuff. Excellent. Everybody else, we'll see you on the next podcast.